What is up, people? This is the Oracle. We are back online for another vintage cube draft. This pack is decent. Tinker is one of my favorite build around, so I'm probably just gonna pick that and hope to get some cheap artifact and one big thing. Like if Thundering Titan wheels, it's great. It's actually not my favorite thing to get. I'd rather have Blightsteel Colossus or Inkwell Leviathan, but Thundering Titan is pretty good too. Yeah, I'd be happy to wheel either Daze, Ors of Signet, or Rakdos Signet, or Titan. This pack overall is not super powerful. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy to pick Tinker. I think it's a great card, and it's nice to have pack one, so you can pack one, pick one, so you can just build around and make it good, basically. There's Basalt Monolith here, which is decent, but I'm not actually a huge fan. I think I might just pick Remand. Hallowed Fontaine is fine. Remand is cool. It gives you a bit of interaction early on, lets you draw into your potential piece of combo. It's a card I do like quite a lot. Hallowed Fontaine is fine, but we might not be playing blue-white. And yeah, I guess the other option is the Monolith, which is not exactly super cheap, but it's something you can sacrifice to Tinker. It's something that lets you cast pretty big spells quite early on the game. It's powerful. I don't know. It's close. I do like Remand a lot, though. I think I'm gonna go with Remand, but it might be wrong. It might be straight up wrong. Library of Alexandria. That card is extremely powerful. I'm just gonna pick it. It's one of the best cards in the cube. If you have that in your opener, you will probably just win the game. So yeah, this is how stupid it is. Steam Vent could be fine. Tezzeret probably quite appealing, given that we will want some artifacts. And Mystical Tutor is pretty good too, but I think Library is just too good to pass on. So we'll just get that. Here, there's a Volcanic Island, but again, I'm not sure that I don't really know what second color I will be playing, so I'd rather just pick some blue cards. And I do like Ponder a decent amount, especially when I'm, potentially trying to assemble some combos or synergies between cards. So yeah, I guess it will be Ponder. Okay, this pack has nothing I really care about, I think. Treasure Cruise is fine, but I'm not actually a huge fan of that card. And yeah, I don't love it at all. I could pick Wrath of God and maybe go into blue-white control. I could pick Creeping Tar Pit because it's a very good manland. I think I might just pick Creeping Tar Pit. Again, I'm not a great fan of the Treasure Cruise. Yeah. Dig Through Time is very powerful, but I think this card is quite weaker. Yeah, I think I'll just go with the Tar Pit, which I do like. Do like fine. Tezzeret is pretty cool. Like we have already maybe a little bit of fixing for black, and since we have Tinker, we want to play artifacts, and that could be cool. I think Probe and Disfigure are just much weaker. I guess an option could be Sneak Attack. Sneak Attack is a very sweet build around, and it's often pretty good in the same deck where you have Tinker, because if you have Tinker, you will play some pretty big artifacts, and the fact that Sneak Attack lets you cheat them into the battlefield, even though even if you draw them, is pretty cool. Tezzeret is, I think, a bit weirder and maybe more on theme, but I think Sneak Attack is just stronger. And getting Sneak Attack 6 pick is a good sign that this type of archetype should be open. Now there's a Show and Tell. I'm gonna pick Show and Tell. Scalding Tarn will be amazing because it's great fixing if we are blue-red. Coalition Relic is great fixing, and it's also an artifact for Tinker, but I picked a Sneak Attack. I have to pick Show and Tell here. And now I will pick any Eldrazi I see over anything else, basically. That's pretty cool though. Ooh, it's that Signet is amazing. It's an artifact for Tinker. It's on color fixing and acceleration is just perfect. That's amazing. These last 3 picks were just truly great. Truly great. Days Wield. I kinda like that. I do like Daze a fair amount. Now there's a Rakdos Signet, which, given that we have Tinker, might be a better option. I'm not a huge fan of... Well, it's good, it's good. It's half on color because I'm pretty sure we will be red, but... If I did not have Tinker, I would just slam the Daze, but since I have Tinker, it might be right to pick the Signet. So... Yeah, even though I do love Daze, though. I'm gonna pick Daze. It's probably wrong, but I just like that card a lot. Here I'm gonna pick Withered Foothills in case I get a Volcanic Island or Steam Vent, though I think we passed one of these earlier on, so we might not get that. But I think it's better fixing than Hallowed Fountain, most likely. Right now it's not fixing for anything, obviously, but we could get a nice blue-red land to fetch. I really like the fact that we have both Show and Tell and Sneak Attack that early in the draft, as well as Tinker. A couple nice early interaction spells. Yeah, I really like how this is going. Library is very powerful too. So what I want is cheap artifact and fatties, basically. We know that we will not get a Thundering Titan, unfortunately, but again, that's not my favorite thing to use with Tinker or Show and Tell or Sneak Attack. I'd rather probably have Blightsteel Colossus or something like that, or an Eldrazi, or who knows, Inkwell Leviathan. Here we have a pretty easy Gruul Signet, I think. Cheap artifact, mana acceleration, everything we want. Force Spike is fine. I do like Force Spike a lot less than Daze, but it's still a fine card. I guess Wrath of God. Wrath of God can deal with early Titan or early Eldrazi, so that's pretty good against us. Manatize, okay, Thinginias, sure. That's a good start now though. But I think we'll pretty much have to pick any big creature over anything else at this point. Here I think we want Mana Vault. Works very well with Tinker, so you can Tinker on turn 2. It's a pretty powerful card in general. It's just a better green Monolith, basically. Though I'd be happy to wheel Monolith, but I don't think it's wheeling. Spell Pierce could be a fine card to wheel. I'm not a huge fan of Magma Jet. Yeah. Either way, I think it's pretty clear-cut Mana Vault. I don't think we have any reason to pick something else. Okay, so there are 2 interesting cards here. I mean 3, 4. No, actually there's a bunch of interesting cards. So Progenitus is very good, I mean, quite solid with Show and Tell, but not very good with Sneak Attack and not very good with Tinker. Dragonlord Atarka is fine with Show and Tell and Sneak Attack, but a bit weaker than Progenitus with Show and Tell. Avenger is not really what we want. And there's also Mystic Confluence, which is just a very powerful blue card in general. Repeal is fine. Azorius Signet is pretty good, but we already have 2 other Signets, so I don't think we want that. I think it's between Mystic Confluence and Progenitus. And Progenitus might wheel, because we are probably the only one that can play that, unless there's someone with Natural Order in their deck. So I think I'm gonna pick Mystic Confluence and hope to wheel Progenitus. Ulamog, well, Ulamog is actually not my favorite. It's pretty good with Show and Tell, but it doesn't really kill with Sneak Attack, unless they have less than 20 cards, or 20 cards. That being said, there's not much else. I think Shackles could be good because we are pretty likely to be heavy on blue, so there is that. Yeah, it's kinda close, because again, Ulamog is not the best with Sneak Attack or Tinker. It's not an artifact and it doesn't really one-shot people, so it's only really good with Show and Tell. I think for that reason I will pick Shackles. Maybe it's greedy, but I hope I can get some better fat creatures, basically. I might just pick Wormcarl. First, you can Tinker that if you don't have anything better. Second, it's one of the better Tinker target if you're playing against Mono Redburn or any type of very aggressive deck. Third, you can always hard cast it. Fourth, it works kind of well with Sneak Attack because when it dies you get the token. And I'm not really interested in anything else, so yeah, I think it's fine. Ooh, Yulamog is nice. That I will pick. That I do like a lot with Sneak Attack and Tinker. I mean, not Tinker, and Show and Tell. Okay, sweet. Emrakul will be better, but yeah, I cannot really complain about that. It's not a lot worse. It is not a lot worse. It's always risky to show and tell something that's not powerful enough because your opponent could have something better. So I'm really on the side of trying to get the best thing we can. I'd love to pick Counterspell. I think it's a great card. It's very powerful and all, but we pretty much have to pick Through the Breach here. This fits the deck super well, and this gives us a force, cheat into the battlefield effect, which is just amazing. Yeah, Counterspell will be great, but this is just better, I think. Nothing we care about here. I might just pick Channel. I don't think I will play it unless I get super great fixing, but by cutting Channel, I make it less likely that the green player will, pick that and try to get Emrakul. Which means that if there's an Emrakul open, I'm pretty likely to get it if I cut Channel. At least more likely than if I don't cut Channel, and there's nothing I care about here, so. And who knows, like, if I get crazy good fixing for green, I can end up maybe playing blue-green with a splash for red, and I also already have a Gruul Signet, so it's not out of question. It's not very likely, but it could happen. This pack does have some fixing for green, and nothing else. I'm gonna pick Temple of Mystery. This is not an opposition deck, and yeah, again, if I get enough fixing, I will try to play that Channel. Eureka. Okay. That's interesting. The thing is, to play Eureka, you need a bunch of fatties. We might not have enough fatties. I'm still gonna pick that because there's nothing else I'm really interested in. And, well, Blighted Agent, Shardless Agent could be fine, but it's not so great. Yeah, I'll pick Eureka. Maybe we'll also play these. Maybe we'll have the deck with all the all the ways to get big creatures onto the battlefield. That's a pretty sweet start. Now we just really need more fatties. Wormcoil, Yulamog is fine, but I could use 2 or 3 more, I think. We will the Progenitus, which is good. I think it's better than Dragonlord. And actually, once you have enough fatty, Progenitus is actually fine with Sneak Attack because maybe they took 10 of a Yulamog earlier on, and you can just one-shot them. It's just like, I'd rather have something that really kills when I Sneak Attack, or Through the Breach, but once you have a couple of these, and you can maybe do it twice, it's also better. Nothing I really care about. I guess I don't really want to get killed by Geist super quickly. Roast is a fine option if we need some early interaction. Deck is shaping up pretty well. Really like the fact that we have everything, like Sneak Attack, Through the Breach, Show and Tell, and Tinker, and Eureka Channel if we can play green. That could be funny. At this point, I think I'm picking Emrakul over any card in the entire cube. Speaking about the old Emrakul, the new Emrakul I'm a little bit less interested in, just because the new one, you don't really get... you cannot mind control the opponent using this type of effect, so it's not as powerful. This pack does not have a ton for us. I might just pick Sphinx because it's not very good with Sneak Attack or Through the Breach. And you cannot Tinker. And with Show and Tell it's risky because they could have something stronger. That being said, you can hardcast it. We have a Mana Vault, a couple Signet. It's a powerful card. I think it's better than Dig Through Time. Kind of does the same thing, except that we can Show and Tell if we need a Sphinx where you cannot really Show and Tell a Dig Through Time. I'm not thrilled about that, but it's a very powerful blue card, so it's probably fine. Okay. Here I think we have a choice between 2 utility lands, Sheldock Isle or Wandering Fumarole. Isle is looking decent, especially since we have some really big creatures, but I'm not even sure that this deck will try to... It's better in actually in control deck that can really easily go down to 20 card and make the game last, but this deck kind of wants to win as soon as possible, so I'm not sure this is really great for our game plan, and Wandering Fumarole is just very good fixing, so I think I might just pick it, yeah. Unfortunately, nothing great for us. I guess Torrential Gearhulk. So you can Through the Breach Torrential Gearhulk and then Eureka Through the Breach on something else. It's kind of funny. It's also something you can tinker for, though it's probably not amazing. I don't know. I mean, the other option is Mindslaver, which I don't think is a much better tinker target. I might try the Gearhulk. It's pretty fun with Through the Breach, if anything. Who knows? Okay, here I'm picking Kozilek. I'm not even looking at the rest of the pack. Taiga could be cool because of of the green cards, but I think we need that more. And Venser is strong, but we need the fatty more than anything else. Ooh, Emrakul. Okay, we got them all. We got all of the old Eldrazi's. That's sweet. The only thing I don't like right now is that we don't actually have anything to tinker for, except for the Wormcoil, which is not that amazing. Like, we did not get an Inkwell Leviathan, or even something like, I don't know, the Esper Sphinx, I don't remember the name. The 6/6 flying, pro-green, pro-red, lifelink, first strike, vigilance. Sphinx of the Steelwind, yeah. So hopefully we'll get a tinker target better than Wormcoil. I think we have 3 more peaks after that one. Cryptic and Click be good, but I cannot pass Emrakul with what I have right now. I just cannot do that. Okay, there's the Sphinx I was talking about, which we might just pick as this slightly. It's not even that. Actually, it's not even much stronger than Wormcoil, so you might not be right to pick that. I mean, depending on the matchup, it's better, but in general, Wormcoil kind of does the same thing. Also, Wormcoil works better with Sneak Attack and Through the Breach, so I don't actually think we even want that. Because we have Wormcoil, which kind of does the same thing. Flooded Friend doesn't really help us fix for anything, unfortunately. Brainstorm is meh. I mean, we have this Wooded Foothills, which is a shuffle effect. I don't know. Again, I think the Sphinx is powerful, but I think Wormcoil kind of does the same thing, so we don't really need it. And I think this was the last pack for us. No, there's one more after that. Okay, hopefully we can get Inkwell or something. I guess I'll pick Spellskite for my side. But I don't think I care about anything else. And nothing other than Wormcoil. Oh well. I don't think I will play Progenitus, by the way. I think given that I got all the big Eldrazi, I don't really need that. They are all better to use with Sneak, Through the Breach, or Show and Tell, and I think this is enough fatties. There is Breeding Pool though, which I'm gonna pick. And I think I'm actually gonna play that green. I'm actually thinking about playing that green. Temple of Abandon, more fixing. Yeah, we'll play that. At least the channel and maybe Eureka, because we have a fair amount of fixing for green, and we can also be, mostly blue-green, splashing for a touch of red. So there is that. I guess Mystic Snake is pretty good if we're actually playing green. Ooh, Taiga Wield, that's great. Yeah, the fixing for green is just great. But actually it's gonna be a blue-green deck splashing for red, if anything. Deck is sweet, really sweet. I might just play everything. Yeah, I think I will do that actually. Go all in combo. That's pretty good because we really got all the all the potential cheat into the battlefield combo pieces. I don't think we'll play Shackles. It's a fine card, but not really in our game plan. I'm not sure what Cryptic Command is doing there, but I'm gonna pick that. Sure, I don't mind that. Sage is nice for the side. Okay, that's sweet. Blue, green, splash red. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red sources that are free. I will probably add just one mountain and then only play some blue and a couple greens. And that's gonna be my deck. And this is 23 cards, so perfect, right? I love that deck. By the way, it's funny, but I think it's also very strong. Like, we got really all the powerful endgame. We have a couple other things that we can cast, but that are pretty good to use with too. Eureka is going to be pretty amazing, even if they have powerful. And the funny thing here is that we have all the old Eldrazi. So if we show and tell, it's unlikely that they can put something more threatening or better. Yeah, that's amazing. I love that deck. It's one of the funniest and maybe one of the better deck I've drafted recently. I think it is extremely powerful, I think, and quite stable. Like, look at this. We have so many ways to cheat big creatures early on, and so many big creatures that it's pretty likely that we can get it done on turn 4 or 5. Between turn 2 and 5, pretty much all the games where we have decent draws. So yeah, that's incredibly sweet. Do love the deck. Now regarding the mana, we have 2 double green cards that are quite important, so we need enough green. I think we want 1 red. Library is strong enough that I'm gonna play it, even though it's not really great for the mana base. Yeah, so we already have 6 red, which is almost enough, but I kinda want 1 more. I don't really need 1 mountain though, because Wooded Foothills can fetch Taiga. 6 red seems like good enough. But having double red is useful because of sneak attack. Sometimes you want to sneak attack and use the ability right away. Maybe, yeah, I'll probably play 1 mountain. And then this is 5 green, 6 green. No, I don't want any of these. What would that be? That would mean 7 red, which I think is plenty, like it's more than enough. This would be, since Wooded Foothills can fetch Breeding Pool, this is 11 blue, which I don't really want to go under that because I have Cryptic Command and a fair amount of of early blue spells. So I don't really want to go under 6 island, and it is 9 green. 9 green is almost too much, but it's good. I don't really mind. I will probably not get to cast Cryptic Command on turn 4 very often, but I don't really need or want to do that anyways. So I think we'll just do that. This deck is incredibly sweet. Yeah, that's probably the sweetest deck I ever built in Legacy Cube. Vintage Cube. And I've built some pretty sweet deck, I think. But I love it. Like, we really have all the tools to try to make these Eldrazi's work. That was really sweet. I'm pretty happy, quite happy about playing some games with that deck. I hope you guys enjoyed the draft. If it's the case, feel free to drop a like. And yeah, if you want to see more, feel free to subscribe to the channel. I'm uploading quite often. And yeah, thank you for watching and see you for round 1.